Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Almine, and in today's video, as you can see by the thumbnail and title, Full Court Games is coming to Gymclass VR. Now this is one thing that has been highly anticipated to come into this game, and a lot of people have been wanting it for so long, and we finally have confirmation that it should be coming. Of course, if you do enjoy this video, make sure you like and subscribe. All my socials will be in the description down below, and let's get right into the video. So Paul posted something about he would love to see our feedback in Full Court Games, and he said there's two types of questions for our community here. And if you already play Full Court Games in Gymclass, what issues do you run into? First of all, I think this is a really good idea, getting ideas from content creators and stuff like that, just because there are a lot of content creators that do play Full Court Games. So to get advice from people that actually do play Full Court Games in Gymclass VR, I think that would help a lot going into the development of the Full Court Games. So I'm going to pick a few nice suggestions or questions that a few people have done, which I think are really good questions. The first one is obviously sub in and out players. The reason I think this will be really important is because if we are playing 5v5 games, it's going to be very often that someone's headset dies or someone has to get off since there's 10 people playing. You even notice it in 3v3 games. Some people's headset will die, or people will just go AFK and they'll leave just because there's so many people playing that game mode. It ends the game fully and then new people hop on the spot, which I think is a really bad thing. So I think what they should do is, if somebody leaves, maybe an alert will go out to the rest of the server that will say click this to join, and whoever basically clicks join first will hop on into the game. Now I know there could be some glitches if both people click at the same time, but I'm sure that can be fixed. But I think that's going to be the most important thing throughout this whole Full Court game, because as I said, 10 people playing the game, it's not going to be uncommon for someone to leave, lag out, especially lag out when there's a lot of people in the server, or even the headset dying, because headsets don't last that long. So my suggestion, of course, will be if someone disconnects, get an alert out to the whole entire server that says a spot is open or something like that, and someone can click join or decline. And if everyone clicks decline, maybe we can just keep playing until someone actually wants to join. But if everyone clicks decline, maybe a random person playing or just training in the crowd can actually join. I know it seems a little harsh, but if people are in a 5v5 lobby and are just shooting around, why do that? You can go into your private gym. So I think if everyone did decline, it would be okay to get a random person in. I think that would be the only way to sub in and sub out players, and I think that would be the best way too. Next, we have somebody said transitions are slow. The next one, somebody said transitions are slow. So the game is actually developing a new sort of physics mode, which makes you run faster, sprint faster, jump a little bit lower, but you get longer hang time, but it does need a little more improving. It's really hard to block dunks since it's really fast, and if you shoot from the 3-point line and somebody jumps from the free throw line, because they are so fast when they're jumping, they will block the ball. So there are some things that will need to develop in that, such as maybe slow down the time when you're jumping. But yeah, I think that's honestly the only problem with the new physics. Of course, these are basic physics, they're not out yet at all. You can play them because some lobbies say experimental physics, which is you dribbling really fast and sprinting really fast. That will make transitions so much faster. Another thing people are saying are the amount of points you need to get to win the game and the time on the shot clock. Now I know Real Sulk said he thinks we should get to 21 points and 10 minutes and the game will go by 2s and 3s, but I think what they should do is have a normal quarter, 15-minute game, and whoever wins that quarter wins the whole game. Or not even that, just 10-minute games, but there's no point limit, so people can actually draw. Because I think even games to 21 with 2s and 3s will be really quick, especially with the transition speed, with the more players on the team, and games will go by in less than 5 minutes in my opinion. So I think what we should have is 10-minute games and no point limit at all, or 15-minute games and no point limit. But I think 10 minutes will be a really good one, especially with, of course, no time limits. And if the game draws, you go into overtime for maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But I still do think that the game should go by 2s and 3s. Or what we could do is go into some sort of sudden death, which Real Sulk actually did suggest. He said if the game is tied when the shot clock ends, it comes to sudden death, which means whoever scores first wins the game. Now I think this could be really good, except we would have to start with a tip-off, because if someone had the ball first and then it just starts and someone can just dribble and dunk, or even if they were close to the basket and they can just dunk straight away. It's really unfair. So I feel like it is basically overtime, but whoever scores first wins. So it's basically, as some people call, last goal winner. One problem I think we are going to have a problem with is full court presses. Now, of course, in Discord rules, you can't slap the ball away, but even in a full court press, it's really, really annoying. You can't just dribble where you want. You have to keep trying to go past the defender or whatever, or past the ball, which I think is really, really unfair. What they should do is anytime your opponent scores or you score, everyone gets spawned in a certain position. And that would be, let's say for 5v5, 2 people will be inbounding the ball and everyone else will be stuck on the other side. So there will be kind of a barrier until that ball crosses that barrier. There will be a barrier in between the halfway line, so as soon as the ball crosses that barrier, then people can obviously move out if they want to. But that will stop full court presses, and that's the only time I think a full court press should be stopped. If someone steals the ball or blocks the ball and you grab it and you want to full court press them or whatever, I think that should be really, really fine. But from inbounding the ball, especially if people are in front of you when you're trying to inbound the ball, I think that should be stopped. So there should be a boundary in between the halfway line, and of course not let anyone go through it except from the 2 people that are inbounding the ball. Let's say your opponent hits the ball out and you need to grab it and inbound it. If you are on your side of the court, I still think we should have the barrier. But if they hit the ball out of the sidelines on their side of the court, I feel like it should just be no barrier at all and anyone can do what they want. And maybe when it gets hit from the sides or gets hit out wherever, it'll be 2 people inbounding the ball to pass it and 1 person trying to block them from inbounding it. Because of course, if they pass the ball over their defender, they can just dribble out without worrying about full court presses. So I think that would be really, really important with this. Another thing I think would be really, really cool is backcourt violations. This will just be really, really simple. It will be the same as when you step out of the half court. So obviously people will play realistically and we won't have people just wasting time dribbling outside. Also, let's just go back to the inbound on the ball thing. I think there should be a time limit on how long you can inbound the ball for, because I think it would be really, really unfair if someone's up by 1 point and there's, for example, 30 seconds left on the clock and they can just dribble where they inbounded the ball so people can't come through the barrier. I think there should be a 15 to 10 second rule to inbound the ball, because realistically it's not going to take that long to pass the halfway line. So that stops time wasting and stops people from losing when they really could win. Another thing which I mentioned, I think there should be designated spots for each position. For example, there would be point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. And each person before starting the game can pick whatever spot they want. Of course, the tallest guy will go in center, smallest guy will go in point guard, and so on. And I really don't think that will be a problem. There will be a little mix-up and maybe some arguments where people want it to be point guard so they can inbound the ball all the time. But if that happens, someone probably will just hop on the spot when people are trying to go, oh, get me off this spot, get off the spot, get off the spot. Or another way they can do this is go by height. The game has a height system, so it can estimate your real life height. For example, when I calibrate my height and I go to my profile, it says I am 5'11". So let's just say I'm on a team with someone that's 5'6", 5'7", 5'10", 5'11", and 6'2". Of course, it will go in that order from smallest to biggest. So the smallest will be a point guard and the biggest will be a center. If 2 people are the same size, so let's say one person is 5'6", 2 people are 5'8", one person is 5'10", and the other person is 5'11". It should be randomized who gets shooting guard and who gets small forward. And again, if everyone is somehow the same height, I think it should be randomized as well. I think that is a really, really important one. To be honest, I actually prefer that better than people picking their own spots, because if you are the tallest, I don't care if you are a good shooter, you should not be point guard. Because if you are the smallest person in center, their center is going to dunk on them all the time. And of course, if it really, really is a problem, if someone is tall but they want to be a point guard, there should be an option where you can change with your players. So you should be able to request a position change in the menu or something. For example, if I was to click the menu button and I would click on one of my teammates' names, it should say request position swap or something like that. And then something will come on the side of their screen that will say accept or decline a position swap. So I think that will be the best option for this game, to go from height, to go from picking the positions from height, and then if people don't like it, they can ask for a change. And of course, if someone doesn't want to change, they can decline it. I think that would be the most civil way to do this thing, because again, if someone is 5'2" and they want to be a center, then go ahead. I don't think the game should stop you from doing that. Now I'm going to list a few things that I think should be added towards this update. There's some hand gestures timeouts would be really cool. A tip-off would be a really cool concept. Maybe we can get the AI bot to come into the middle and throw the ball straight up. Speaking of AI bots, maybe an AI referee that stays away from anyone that has the ball, just to give the realism and stuff like that. But anyways, that will be it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys have any questions or any suggestions, please do let me know, because in the comments down below I do check my comments. So if you have any suggestions that I really do like, I will personally post in the full course suggestions, or even DM some of the developers of these ideas that I think could be really cool. I hope you guys are excited for this huge update. This will probably be the biggest update of this whole game, not even the NBA updates. I think this is going to be the biggest update. That being said, make sure you like and subscribe. All my socials will be in the description down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.